From their big, fancy wedding to their messy divorce, Apollo and Phaedra's whole marriage was like a show. But what really changed everything was Apollo's legal trouble. After he was sent to prison for fraud, their relationship fell apart, and Phaedra completely cut ties with him. But now, all of a sudden, his name is coming up again. And according to Dr. Heavenly, this is not just by chance. She says Carlos King is bringing Apollo back into the drama to keep things interesting. And this is not the first time we have seen something like this happen. Well, Dr. Heavenly just dropped some big news about Carlos King, and this tea is very hot. She called him out and said he changes stories to create drama. But that is not all. She also said Phaedra Parks needs to be on camera because she tells lies. And now, Apollo's name is getting pulled into this mess too. So what is really going on? Is Carlos King making drama happen behind the scenes? Is Phaedra still doing the same things she did on RKOA? And how is Apollo part of all this? Oh, we are about to talk about everything. Stay tuned because this is very crazy. Dr. Heavenly never holds back. This time, she is coming for Carlos King. She just made some big claims about how he changes stories to create drama, why Phaedra Parks always needs to be on camera, and how Apollo's name is now part of this mess. If you have been watching reality TV for years, then you know that Carlos King has made some of the biggest shows. But what really happens behind the scenes? There is more to this story. Is Carlos King making drama just to get more views? And why does Dr. Heavenly say Phaedra is not telling the truth? In this video, we are going to talk about everything. We will explain what Dr. Heavenly said, look at past events that may prove her right, and find out the real truth about Carlos King's role in all of this. By the end, you will know all the facts and understand what is really happening. So let us start because this tea is very hot. Dr. Heavenly always speaks her mind, but when she called out Carlos King, everyone paid attention. This was not just some random talk. She had a clear message and some serious things to say. She said Carlos King does not just let things happen naturally on reality TV. Instead, she said he changes the story to make things more dramatic. So what did she really say? In a recent online chat, Dr. Heavenly said Carlos King keeps certain people on camera not because they are the most fun to watch, but because they are the most useful for his plans. Carlos King knows how to create a story, and one person he always keeps in the spotlight is Phaedra Parks. For those who may not know, Phaedra was a big part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and her time on the show was full of shocking moments. From her messy divorce with Apollo Nida to the huge scandal that got her removed from the show, she has been in the middle of a lot of drama. But even after all of that, Phaedra is still very popular in reality TV. Why? Well, Dr. Heavenly says it is because Carlos King makes sure she stays in the spotlight. Drama always follows Phaedra Parks, but why does Carlos King work so hard to keep her in the spotlight? If we look at Phaedra's past, she has always been in the middle of big drama. Whether it was her fight with Condi Burris, her breakup with her former best friend Portia Williams, or the never-ending problems with her ex-husband Apollo, she has always been part of something big. And that is exactly why Dr. Heavenly believes Carlos keeps her in the front. Phaedra brings the kind of drama that makes people keep watching. Here is where things get even more interesting. Dr. Heavenly did not just say that Carlos King wants Phaedra on screen. She said he does it because she tells lies. That is a big claim, but it is not really shocking. Remember when Phaedra was exposed for spreading a terrible false story about Kandi? That scandal not only destroyed her friendship with Portia, but it also got her fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But even after all of that, she is still a big name in reality TV. This makes people wonder if Phaedra was caught lying before. Is she still doing it now? Is Phaedra still telling lies? And is Carlos King the one making sure those lies end up on screen? But things get even crazier, because Dr. Heavenly is not just calling out Carlos and Phaedra. She is also bringing Apollo into the conversation. Apollo? Why is his name back in the drama? We have not heard much about him in a long time, but somehow he is back in the reality TV mess. For those who may not remember, Apollo is Phaedra's ex-husband and their whole relations. From their big, fancy wedding to their messy divorce, Apollo and Phaedra's whole marriage was like a show. But what really changed everything was Apollo's legal trouble. After he was sent to prison for fraud, Their relationship fell apart, and Phaedra completely cut ties with him. But now, all of a sudden, his name is coming up again, and according to Dr. Heavenly, this is not just by chance. She says Carlos King is bringing Apollo back into the drama to keep things interesting. And this is not the first time we have seen something like this happen. Reality TV loves to bring back old faces and past storylines because it gets people talking. And let us be honest, Apollo's story is messy, enough to create a whole new wave of drama. But what does this mean for Phaedra? Is she still connected to Apollo in some way? Is there unfinished business between them? And the biggest question is, why does Carlos King think now is the perfect time to bring Apollo back into the mix? Something does not seem right, and Dr. Heavenly is making that very clear. Dr. Heavenly is making it very clear that she sees right through this strategy. And let us not forget, Carlos King has a history of shaping certain stories to fit his vision. Carlos King knows exactly how to keep people watching reality TV, but according to Dr. Heavenly, he is not just producing shows, he is creating the drama himself. If we look at his past work, this is not the first time he has been accused of carefully building storylines just to boost ratings. Remember Love and Marriage, Huntsville? There were many accusations that Carlos secretly stirred up drama behind the scenes, setting up feuds and creating chaos to keep viewers entertained. And let us not forget his time working on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Some of the biggest and messiest moments on that show happened while he was in charge. So when you connect the dots, it is easy to see why Dr. Heavenly believes Carlos is once again using the same tricks. But here's the real question. If Carlos King is really the one pulling the strings, then what is his end goal? If Carlos is the one controlling everything, does that mean what we see on his shows is not real? Or is he just making the drama bigger for entertainment? Because let us be honest, at the end of the day, reality TV is still TV. It is made to be entertaining. But how far is too far? And the biggest question is, how much of what we are watching is actually real? Now that Dr. Heavenly has put all of this out there, what happens next? The real question is, how will Carlos King respond? Will he speak up and defend himself, or will he stay silent and let the rumors keep spreading? Will the controversy fade away, or will Carlos let it pass without saying a word? And what about Phaedra? Will she speak up about why her name is being dragged into this? One thing is certain, this situation is far from over, and there is definitely more drama on the way. So stay tuned because there is a lot more to uncover. Now that we have broken down Dr. Heavenly's claims about Carlos King and his reality TV tactics, let us take a deeper look at the bigger question. How much power does Carlos King really have over these reality stars, and how does he keep them under his influence? Carlos King is not just a producer working behind the scenes. He is the mastermind when it comes to Black reality TV. His talent for shaping storylines, controlling cast dynamics, and creating viral moments has made him a major name in the industry. But according to Dr. Heavenly, that success comes with a price. She is suggesting that Carlos King is not just capturing reality, he is creating it. Carlos King does not just film reality, he creates it. He decides who gets the spotlight, guides the storylines, and makes sure the most dramatic personalities stay front and center. If you look at Carlos King's track record, it is hard to ignore the pattern. Now, let us talk about Phaedra Parks. Is she just a piece in his bigger plan? Dr. Heavenly specifically called out Phaedra as one of Carlos King's key people, saying he keeps her on screen because she does not tell the truth. Whether you like Phaedra or not, there is no denying that she knows how to bring drama like no one else. But the real question is she just playing her part, or is there something bigger happening? Why does Carlos King keep bringing Phaedra back? Is it because she is entertaining, or is it because she knows exactly how to stir things up and keep people watching? Is Carlos King keeping Phaedra around because she knows how to shape a story? Or is it because he knows she will do whatever it takes to stay on television? Let us not forget one. Does Carlos King protect Phaedra because she knows how to create drama? That brings us to another important question. If he is keeping her around because she knows how to twist the truth, who else is gaining from this? Now, let us talk about Apollo Nita's sudden return to the spotlight. After everything that happened between him and Phaedra, the prison sentence, the divorce, and all the accusations, you would think he would be finished with reality TV. But somehow, his name is back in the conversation again. Is that just a coincidence? Or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Dr. Heavenly does not believe this is just a coincidence. She thinks Carlos King is bringing Apollo back on purpose. Not because he has something new to share, but because his presence alone makes the drama even bigger. Think about it. Apollo has so much unfinished business. His complicated past with Phaedra, his time in prison, the rumors surrounding it, and the shady business deals he was allegedly part of. The moment Apollo is back in front of the cameras, people will pay attention, and Carlos King knows that. But here is the real question. How is this happening now? So what is the real reason Carlos King is bringing Apollo back into the spotlight? Does he truly want Apollo to share his side of the story? Or is this just another planned move to bring back old drama? This raises a bigger question. Is Carlos King simply making entertaining television? Or is he going too far and controlling the entire story? Reality TV has never been fully real. Producers shape the narrative, editors put scenes together in a certain way, and cast members know that keeping the drama going helps them stay on the show. Dr. Heavenly is not just saying Carlos King captures drama. She believes he creates it. She is suggesting that he is not just a producer, but the one deciding who stays in the spotlight based on how much chaos they can bring. If that is true, then how many reality stars are actually being themselves? And how many are just playing a role to stay relevant? And that leads to another big question. Who else has been influenced by Carlos King's control? Carlosi. King's reality TV approach is not just about Phaedra and Apollo. Dr. Heavenly believes there is a clear pattern where some cast members are always kept in the spotlight while others slowly disappear. Think about it. Melody Holt from Love and Marriage. Huntsville. Was she purposely made to look like the villain? Destiny Payton. Was she given a fair chance, or was she set up to fail from the start? And what about Monique Samuels? Why did she suddenly disappear from the reality TV world? It looks like Dr. Heavenly is bringing attention to something that might have been happening all along. When you step back and look at the pattern, Carlos King always seems to have a favorite. That person gets extra protection, more screen time, and a bigger role in the storyline, and most of the time, they are the ones who create the most drama. So is Dr. Heavenly exposing something that was right in front of us the whole time? Is Carlos really choosing his stars based on who can cause the most chaos? And if that is true, who will be next? What does this mean for the future of reality TV? If Dr. Heavenly is correct, then Carlos King is taking a big risk. Because creating drama for reality TV can have real consequences. We have already seen reality stars get into serious legal trouble because of what happened on screen. Take Jen Shaw from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She ended up in prison for fraud. Teresa and Joe Giudice from The Real Housewives of New Jersey also went to prison for financial crimes. Even Apollo. Nita got caught up in illegal activities that led to his prison sentence. So if all this drama is being planned just to keep people watching, how long before it causes real damage to someone else? If Carlos King is really creating false stories and controlling reality TV drama, what happens when a star goes too far? What if the next big scandal is not just for entertainment, but something real that ruins someone's life? And how long before the audience stops believing what they see? Here's the truth. Viewers are getting smarter. People can now see through the fake arguments, the planned fights, and the forced drama. If Carlos King keeps using the same tricks again and again, sooner or later, people will notice. And when that happens, reality TV may never be the same again. People will stop watching, so what happens now? Will Carlos King finally speak up and respond to Dr. Heavenly's claims? Will Phaedra and Apollo share their own side of the story? And the biggest question, Dr. Heavenly is calling out Carlos King now. Who else, If there is one thing Carlos King understands, it is how to handle drama. After all, he has built his entire career on it. He usually avoids getting into public fights, choosing instead to let his shows and the chaos he creates speak for themselves. But with Dr. Heavenly making bold claims, this situation might be different. So what will Carlos King do next? Will he ignore the controversy, or will he speak out? When it comes to his own name being pulled into the mess, he usually takes one of two paths. Option 1 is to stay silent and let it pass. Carlos knows that sometimes the best way to deal with controversy is to say nothing at all. He understands that drama fades when people stop feeding into it. If he chooses this option, he will likely continue running his shows as usual and wait for the gossip to disappear on its own. Carlos might decide to completely ignore Dr. Heavenly's claims. Why? Because sometimes responding only makes things worse. If he stays quiet, the controversy might eventually fade away, and people will move on to the next big scandal. But will that strategy work this time? Maybe not. Dr. Heavenly has a loyal audience and a reputation for being honest. So, if Carlos does not say anything, it could actually make him look guilty. The other option? A subtle response. Instead of addressing the claims directly, Carlos could take a more careful approach by making indirect comments or throwing shade in his own way. Instead of responding to Dr. Heavenly directly, Carlos might take a quiet approach. He has done it before, posting vague messages online, hinting at things in interviews, or letting his reality stars defend him. Could one of them step in to take his side? But here's the problem. If Carlos speaks up, it could bring out even more secrets. If he says he is not controlling storylines or reality stars, others might come forward with their own proof. And if he pushes back too hard, Dr. Heavenly might reveal even more than she already has. If Dr. Heavenly keeps exposing more, this could turn into a major reality TV showdown, one that could change the industry forever. But Carlos King is not just facing Dr. Heavenly, others might have something to say too. Will Phaedra Parks respond? Phaedra Parks is one of the biggest names caught up in this drama. Dr. Heavenly did not just call out Carlos King for being a controlling producer, she also pointed directly at Phaedra. She claimed that Carlos keeps giving Phaedra opportunities because she knows how to twist the truth to keep things interesting. Phaedra Parks always knows how to stay quiet when drama gets in the way. She is good at avoiding problems and keeping things calm. But this time, it is different. Why? Because if she stays silent, people might think Dr. Heavenly was telling the truth. But if she speaks up, she could make things worse. So what should she do? She might try to act like the victim. She could say that she is the one being treated unfairly. Maybe she will do an interview or post on social media, saying that Dr. Heavenly is just bitter or jealous. Many celebrities use this trick when they are in trouble. But will it work for her? That is the real question. Phaedra is a lawyer, so she knows how to control a story. She could choose to stay silent and decide this. Drama is not worth her time. She might trust that Carlos will handle everything while she keeps doing what she does best, stirring up drama on reality TV. But here is where things get complicated. If Phaedra stays quiet, will Apollo start talking? If he decides to share secrets, her silence will not help her anymore. And what about Apollo? Will he finally tell his side of the story? Let us not forget, Dr. Heavenly is also involved, and she never holds back. This drama might only be getting started. Dr. Heavenly brought Apollo into the conversation and said that Carlos King is bringing him back on purpose to create more drama. But the real question is, what does Apollo get from all of this? He still has a lot of unfinished business. There is his problem with Phaedra, his time in prison, and the truth about what really happened. His side of the story that nobody heard. Apollo has been quiet for a long time, but if Carlos King is putting him back on reality TV, there must be a reason. So now, the big question is, what is he about to say? Apollo finally speaks. But what will he do? Option 1. Apollo tells everything. If he decides he has nothing to lose, he might come forward and reveal it all. Not just about Phaedra, but also about Carlos King's reality TV empire. If that happens, it could turn into a huge scandal that changes the way people see reality TV forever. Option 2, Apollo plays it safe. He might understand that staying on Carlos King's good side is better for his future. If he stays quiet and follows the plan, he could get more chances on TV and keep his career going. So, what will Apollo choose? Truth or survival? Let us be honest, Apollo probably needs that paycheck. So, will he tell the truth? Or will he keep playing the reality TV game? No matter what he chooses, one thing is clear, this is not over. Now, what about Carlos King's reality TV empire? If Dr. Heavenly's accusations start getting attention, things could take a surprising turn. We might see something that has never happened before. Reality TV stars turning against Carlos King. Carlos has always had many people supporting him. But what happens if former stars like Monique Samuels from Love and Marriage, DC start speaking? Out too? That could change everything. Destiny Payton and Melody Holt from Love and Marriage. Huntsman might feel that now is the right time to share their truth about working with Carlos King. Could this turn into a big reality TV rebellion?